here's my review of Wicked for Good. Now, this is a movie where I think it is good. Fitting rating considering the title. But I think that it is a noticeable step down in quality. And I think really just the main reason is because of the way the story is structured. What made the first movie so good is just the dynamic between Elphaba and Glinda. Because they're split up now, it's just the dynamic is just not as fascinating, and just the story is not as fascinating. I'm gonna start off with the positives, and don't get me wrong, I still like this movie. I still enjoyed it, and I still had a lot of fun with it. I just had some problems with it. But I want to stay with some positives. I mean, the performances are fantastic. Cynthia Erivo is incredible in this movie, as is Ariana Grande. Like, they truly are just fantastic performers, and I would not be upset at all if any of them got an Oscar. I think that they both deserve a nomination. I think that they were both incredible in this movie. And wow, just their singing voice is just, it's truly is just beautiful. And there's a lot of stuff that I like in this movie. For example, there's a flashback where we see a young Glinda, where she gets a wand for her birthday, and she tries to do something, like to do some magic, and then just something coincidentally happens. And they ask her, oh, did you do that? And she just lies about it. Like, just because she kind of likes that attention. Like, that's fascinating. It just adds a lot to her character, and I enjoyed that. That was a scene that I really liked. And I think that there's a lot of really good scenes with Nessa Rose as her being like a kind of like she is like an antagonist in this movie, and she is good in this movie. I think that the actress did a great job. I thought that all the performances were good, but it's just one of those things, like, that dynamic was just not as fascinating as it was when, like, it was just her and Elphaba in the first movie. It's and, like, I get it. I get this is based off a play. I get that apparently everyone says that the second half of the play is not as good as the first. So it's just going off of source material that just wasn't as good. So I don't really fault the movie for that, but I am just judging it for what I watched, and I just noticed a significant step down in quality. I think, though, that the whole opening, though, is just very epic. Like, right after Elphaba stops, like, there's so many, like, these little Wizard of Oz, like, teases where, like, they're building the yellow brick road. And after she stops them, like, abusing the animals, she escapes back. And then there's the song as she's casting the spell. Like, there's so much great stuff like that I just loved. I just wish there was just more of it. I wish the characters were just more compelling. Or, it's not the characters, it's the plot. And like I said, I like in a way, I like seeing all the fascinating propaganda and how, like, she says, our wizard lies. And then Madame Warble just kind of, like, changes stuff to make it, to kind of fit the wizard's agenda as hers too. That stuff is really fascinating. And you do get some Wizard of Oz teases. You never see Dorothy's face, but you do see, like, some of the other, you see the Cowardly Lion, you see the Tin Man, Scarecrow, etc. But you do not see Dorothy. Well, like I said, you don't see her face, but it does kind of have this, like, oh, there's Dorothy kind of moment that really does feel like almost magical, just seeing, just like her slippers. It really is cool. The whole Tin Man scene, though, it really is just kind of a terrifying scene. It really is saddening, and it makes you think, like, although we know that Elphaba is good, like, and it wasn't intentional, what she did to the Tin Man, it was just very tragic to see. It was sad. And even though it was an accident, you could completely understand why he just hates Elphaba now. And as for, like, the big reveal, so obviously the big reveal is that Elphaba is actually the daughter of the wizard. That really did throw me off. I was in shock, and I'll give it credit for doing such a wow moment. Like, I did not expect that. And it was fascinating. Tin Man scene was just horrifying as well. And there are some things where I've seen people point out saying how, and part of me agrees, where it's like, just because, it has to lead in the Wizard of Oz, so they have to do this, but it kind of takes you out of the story. Like, I get that. Like, we have to have a Tin Man, we have to have a Cowardly Lion, etc. And there's a lot of it's cool to have Easter eggs like this, but like this isn't even really a direct prequel to The Wizard of Oz. It's like a what if, kind of its own thing. So like, what's the point? And Jonathan Bailey as Prince Fiero, I think is great. I think there's a whole romance subplot with him and Elphaba that I just found to be very compelling. I thought that whole part was just great. And just like in the first one, although there's no defying gravity moment, the songs truly are just incredible. I really enjoyed all the songs. And I really just can't stop praising, though. Like, these performances are both just so good. Like, Ariana Grande is still so funny, but so emotional. And Cynthia Erivo is just incredible as Elphaba. They're both so good. And I really think that even though that this movie's plot is a step down in quality, and a noticeable step down in my opinion, it is still a good movie. And I think that these performances are so good that it might still be worth seeing. And the songs, like I said, they're not as good as the first movie, but they're still really good. This is still a very fun movie. This is still a very beautiful movie. And what saves this movie, because like I said, the plot is just not as compelling, because in the first movie, we see their friendship slowly bond and then fall apart. That was just more compelling than the aftermath, than part two, I guess. But because these actresses are so talented, and because the songs are because they're such talented singers, I'd still say it's worth seeing, just because you're going to get incredible performances, incredible music numbers. It's just the story here is just not as compelling. And how it ends with Elphaba faking her death and then going to live with Prince Fiero on the outskirts of Oz, I found that to just be like a wow moment where it's like, I almost want to see a third movie. I want to know what's going to happen to them. But I understand that this is it. Like, this is the end of the story. It's a what if thing to Wizard of Oz. It doesn't have to, like, there will never be, like, there is Dorothy in this movie, but she plays she plays an important role, but like, she doesn't kill Elphaba, you know? It's like, that's not this kind of movie. It's a different movie. I get it. It's not The Wizard of Oz, but it was still good. So yeah, in conclusion, I think that this movie is still good. I still liked it. But with like the first movie was in my top 10 movies of last year. I don't think that this movie will be in my top 10 movies. I don't even think it is as of right now. But it's still a good movie. It's just the characters, and like I said, the performance is still great, but just the characters' dynamic in the plot is just not as compelling. And like I said, I still think Jeff Goldblum as the wizard is great. Him just being this con man is just so fascinating, and just how he's defeated is very satisfying. Like I said, defeated by Elphaba, not by Dorothy, because this is a different thing, but still good. So, still a good movie, still incredible performances, incredible vocal performances, but it's just a step down. But that being said, it is still good. I just don't think it's great like the first one. Another thing that's just like, you feel so bad like for Elphaba too, because there's some like misunderstandings where like Nessa Rose tries to get like Elphaba to save her boyfriend before she accidentally turns him into Tin Man, and then she gets all mad because, well, Elphaba didn't know. She was like pressured. And there's like little things like that. But other than that, it's still solid. It's just got some things that really hold it back, and it's just not nearly as good as the first one.